Well, I've just got a new set from Warlord Games. Just popped into the local modelling store, which is open again after the North Wales lockdown. And I saw this and I didn't know about it, and I'm a big M.A.S.H fan. So this was sort of advertised as just a generic M.A.S.H unit from the Korean War, Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. But it's actually M.A.S.H the TV show. Let me just see if I can get that to focus a bit better. Yeah, autofocus. So I bought this, I think it was £20. It's a really nice set. So you get all your favourites, which I will show you now. I did film a little bit where I was just undercoating the models and putting flesh tones on them, but that sort of didn't come out. So forgive me that these are already slightly started, but I'll show you who you get. So first one you get obviously is Hawkeye. Yeah, focus. I think it's focusing on that for some reason. So the first one you get is Hawkeye Pierce. Quite a nice sculpt. The hat's a little bit on the head, so he's in his trademark dressing gown with Martini. And then you get his compatriot. This is, I think, one of the best likenesses. This is BJ Honeycutt, and it's a really nice facial likeness, that one. And then you also get, of course, Raider O'Reilly. The glasses are actually quite nicely done. On the box, they've painted for some reason the lenses as like black or white, and it's just weird. It looks strange. Then you get probably the weakest of the bunch, Frank Burns. To be fair, could be anyone. Doesn't really look a great deal like him, but Frank Burns, obviously very difficult face to get right because he didn't have any chin according to the programme. And you get Klinger, dressed as a nurse. Sort of half dressed as a nurse, weirdly. So they've got military trousers underneath, which really, he used to wear stockings and that. He was trying to get out on a Section 8. And then you get a Winchester. So that Frank Burns and Winchester didn't cross over. So these will be the only two figures you can do a diorama with together. Again, quite a nice likeness of Chuck. And then you get Father Mulcahy. Slightly weird sort of hat on him. He used to wear like a straw hat. This looks more like a Tom Baker fedora type. But again, not a bad likeness of the actor. Then you get sort of a little vignette. So you get a patient. Come on, you gotta focus. There we go. So you get a patient in sort of looking a little bit ill, and then you also get Hot Lips, which I think is probably the best figure. It's a really good likeness of Loretta Swit. Actually, her and BJ are the best. So she sort of stands with a drip going into the patient, and then also you get Colonel Potter, whose doctor's coat does look more like a raincoat before it's painted white, and then he stands over the patient and he's listening out with his stethoscope. So a lovely little vignette can be done with those. So I was so happy to get this. They, I think Revel or someone did a model kit of the M.A.S.H tent with a Jeep, yeah, many years ago, and they weren't particularly good kits, but I do love this sort of thing where you have sort of personalities in model kits. So we're going to be making these up. I'll probably show painting one of them rather than all of them, and then show everyone what they look like once they're painted. But let's see how they get on. Okay, so I've undercoated all the hair, and then I just need to dry brush the hair to bring out the shading, and also run a bit of flesh wash into it first. So I'll do the flesh wash first. Just use my normal Reichland. And then we'll dry brush it in white because she's got quite peroxide hair. I'm just going to do that for everyone, and then dry brush it, and we come back and see what's happening. Okay, so I've undercoated, highlighted all the hairs on each one. So the next job is to start painting the clothing. So most of them are wearing olive drab uniforms. When there's a t-shirt, it's a lighter green, so I'm going to use Death Guard green for those. So I'm just going to start painting the t-shirts. I suppose the good thing about this set is it's a very limited colour palette that you've got to have. Okay, so it's a lighter faded green. Okay, so we're going to paint all those. Okay, so I've painted the uniforms in differing shades just to give a bit of difference, because obviously the uniforms ironically wouldn't be of a uniform colour because they would have got faded from washing continuously. So now I'm going to use ceramite white just to paint the coats. Usually takes a couple of, there's something on the brush there. Usually takes a couple of coats with this white. It's quite thin even though it's a base coat. So I'm going to do the uniforms. Come back. Okay, so I've filled out white coats, etc. So now all I'm going to do is use the Reichland Flesh Shade and just run that into some of the shading, for example on the trousers, etc., just to give a bit of contrast. So all we're going to do, I'm not going to use too much. So for example on, let's say, Frank, we can run it just into the creases. That just gives a bit of definition. I'll do that on all those ones and then carry on painting. Okay, so I've painted most of the details. So really all that's left is to dry brush and create the bases. So for dry brushing I'm just going to use some Scar White with a very, very dry brush. There you go, that just brings up detail, so I'm going to do that for all the others. Okay, so I've finished the figures. Basically just dry brush them, a coat of varnish, and I've stuck them to them bases and added some grass green. Really probably should be more mud than grass, judging by the show, but I'm presuming they've gone off onto a grassy verge to do it. So let's have a look at the figures. So we've got Hawkeye. Let me just make sure that this focuses. So I've got to put my glasses on to watch the monitor. Yeah, I think that's focus. Oh, here comes the cat. You want Moo? You want Moo? Hey, what are you doing? Hello. Sorry. Okay, so here's Hawkeye. Let me turn it on to autofocus, see if that helps. That's better. There we go. So there's Hawkeye. Quite a nice likeness of Alan Alda. My cat wants to come up on my lap. Hold on. Come on in. Come on in. Come on. Okay, so it's just cuddling around the tail at the moment. So yeah, so a nice likeness of Alan Alda holding his martini. So he's in his trademark red dressing gown and his cowboy hat that he wore early on. And then the companion piece to that is BJ Honeycutt. You don't get a Trapper John, which is weird, yet you do get a Frank Burns. Let me just turn my camera, see what my cat's doing. She wants a lap. Cat bum. Because every time I do a little bit of modelling, she wants to be involved, which is lovely. She's a good girl. Yeah, so you get a BJ Honeycutt. Of course, BJ stands for BJ, which I think were his parents' initials. And he's holding more of a sort of whiskey glass. You could paint it as a coffee cup, I suppose. That's a really nice likeness of the actor. Good pose. That's one of my favourite figures from the range. And they go together well. You could do a little vignette of them toasting each other. And then we get what I thought was going to be the weakest figure, which is Frank Burns. But it's actually not bad. It doesn't really look like him, but it's painted up really nicely. You could use it as a generic sort of trooper. So he painted up nicely. And then you get Frank's replacement, which is Charles Winchester. It was a great character. I really like the character of Winchester. Not a bad likeness. I don't like what they've done with the surgical smocks, the white coats. They look more like raincoats. They should really be open, and you could probably convert them. But yeah, it's a nice. It's carrying a little clipboard, carrying a pen. Then you've got Radar O'Reilly, who is a great likeness, I think. And he's carrying a clipboard, of course, or a book, checking things in. Really nice. It's got his sort of gormless, naive expression. And then you've got Klinger as a nurse, which again is an absolutely stunning sculpt. I don't know if you can. I'll try and get some close-up shots of them. Great figure, that. And you've got Father Mulcahy, who hasn't. It's not the greatest likeness because his glasses are quite large. It's very hard to do glasses at this scale, I suppose. But he's carrying a Bible and he's doing probably the last rites on the poor patient. And then you get the little vignette on the larger stand. So this is Colonel Potter and Hot Lips Houlihan. Great figures. And then you also get an injured soldier carrying a packet of cigarettes. Nice little vignette that. Probably should have done it on boards or concrete because it presumably would be in the surgery, although Margaret's not in scrubs or anything, so it could be a triage straight from the helicopter. But yeah, so a great little set this. So it was 20 quid, it's an absolute bargain. I love little movie tie-ins like this. But yeah, well worth getting. Are you going to focus? Come on. Probably not. Well worth getting. Really enjoyed painting them up. Nice little non-complicated paint job on them. And you could do a nice little diorama. I might build a little swamp tent. I mean, you could probably get helicopters and jeeps in this scale to use as well. But yeah, really good stuff. So thanks for watching. If you want to see more of these type videos, please like and subscribe. There's plenty on the channel. There's various playlists. About 80% of my viewers aren't subscribed, which is a shame because it does help the channel out. But even if you're just watching, thanks for taking the time. and I'll see you again next time. Thanks then. Bye.